This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. I hope you had a fantastic weekend. I'm Michelle Chamberlain.
It was easy to enjoy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Here we are Monday morning, April 25th. I'm Bill Bryant, and we're so glad you're with us.
Yes, we are. Now at 6, police find several shell casings in a Lexington neighborhood, but say a stop on a different side of town led to an arrest.
That story ahead. Also, Republican presidential candidates John Kasich and Ted Cruz join forces, announcing a strategy designed to keep Donald Trump out of the Republican nomination for the White House. That story is just ahead.
And we'll hear from neighbors who say they rushed to do everything they could to help a Richmond man trapped in his home.
We are dry this morning, and for the most part, we're going to stay dry later on this afternoon. It's a mostly dry day. Can't rule out a slight chance here or there. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s this morning. We finish off right around 80 degrees. I'll show you some rain in the forecast. Not only rain, but thunderstorms. That's coming up in a few minutes.
Micah, thank you. Let's get right to the news. And new on WKYT this morning, officers are right now trying to figure out what led to several shots being fired in a Lexington neighborhood.
This was the scene on Osage Court. Police were called there shortly after midnight for a report of shots fired. Now, they found about 5 shell casings on the scene. An officer across town was then flagged down by a car that police believe left the scene on Osage Court. Police ended up charging a juvenile with wanton endangerment. They do not believe anyone was hurt by that gunfire. This morning, we're hearing from neighbors who rushed to help a man trapped in his home by fire.
Banging on his door, trying to save him, fire crews responded to a home on Sycamore to find that home engulfed by flames there in Richmond. The man inside had jumped to safety. WKYT's Mike Byer is live in Richmond now with more on what it took the man to get out and a look at the damage.
Good morning, Bill. That man is lucky to be alive this morning because Richmond firefighters tell us he was taking a nap when the fire broke out. Now, we're told the man's wife was at the store when the fire broke out here yesterday afternoon on Sycamore Drive. We're told that when the fire started that neighbors came to his rescue, but firefighters say the home is a total loss. Now, at the time, investigators are still trying to determine what caused the fire. Now, we've learned that several neighbors played the role of hero. Those neighbors tell us they weren't able to get to the door because the fire had spread, so they yelled through a window, which woke the man up. The man then jumped through a window to safety.
Well, we had just got done mowing the yard and happened to look up and there was flames on the porch, and as quick as we could get over, the flames had just spread. We knew Mikey was on the inside, and the most important thing was to get him out.
Now, when the man jumped out of the window, he brought one of his dogs with him, but we're told that the couple had 2 other dogs that were inside of the home that were unfortunately unable to make it outside. So that is the sad news out of this story. Live in Richmond, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Thank you, Mike. Lexington police are still looking for the man who fired a shot during a gas station robbery. Police tell us a man walked into the Marathon on South Broadway, fired a shot, and demanded cash. He did get away with some money, and officers believe he ran down Gibson Avenue. There were 5 customers inside the gas station during the robbery. Because of that, investigators say the robber will likely face wanton endangerment charges once he is arrested.
A Louisiana crew is thinking that they can find a Kentucky man who disappeared nearly 4 years ago in Laurel County on the lake there. Clarence Holmes disappeared on Laurel Lake in 2012 during a storm. Since then, the Southeast Louisiana Underwater Rescue Team has looked for him several times. They plan on going back out on the water tomorrow. This time, the founder of the rescue team says they have a new lead. The team has sonar pictures that show a tree which they say could be holding the weight of a human body.
When you're looking at it at 2 angles, it's not as likely that it's going to be something that isn't there. And that's what we're hoping on. You know, if I didn't think that we had something to go look at, of course we wouldn't return, but we are returning because I feel pretty good about this.
A very determined search team there. They say they will use special diving equipment, and the search, they say, could take days.
You would think that as primary season enters the home stretch, no serious candidate would effectively agree to lose in any state. But that is basically what Ted Cruz and John Kasich said they would do in 3 contests that are scheduled for May and June.
Interesting switch in strategy here. The announcement came late Sunday after a major conservative donor told a Sunday talk show that Hillary Clinton might be better than any of the Republicans. Here's Kim Hutcherson with the latest from the campaign trail.
John Kasich and Ted Cruz announce a plan to deny Donald Trump the Republican presidential nomination. In a statement released late Sunday, Kasich's campaign said it would stand down in Indiana in order to, quote, give the Cruz campaign a clear path in the state. In its own statement, the Cruz campaign said it would return the favor in Oregon and New Mexico. Trump laughed off the strategy, calling it, quote, desperation. The plan is the latest indication of mainstream Republican concern over a Trump candidacy. Donor Charles Koch shares those concerns, blasting Trump's stance on Muslims on ABC this week.
We'll have them all register. That's reminiscent of Nazi Germany. I mean, that's monstrous, as I said at the time.
But Ted Cruz's threat to carpet bomb ISIS came up for criticism as well.
That a candidate, whether they believe it or not, would think that appeals to the American people. This is frightening.
Then Koch made this surprising statement.
Is it possible another Clinton could be better than another Republican?
It's possible. It's possible.
It seems this strange political season is getting even stranger. Kim Hutcherson, WKYT.
The agreement devised by Kasich and Cruz covers primary schedule for May and June. Their plan does not involve the so-called ACE primaries, which are coming up Tuesday.
The tributes have not stopped in honor of Prince following his sudden death last week. The singer's ashes were laid to rest in a private ceremony for family and friends in Minneapolis on Saturday. Outside his Paisley Park estate, thousands of fans flocked to pay their final respects to Prince with purple balloons, flowers, and even a guitar. Fans from all over the country still can't believe he's gone.
I really believe in my life I would never meet and love another artist like I've loved Prince.
It hit me really hard the first day. I sobbed at the back of work and then came home and sobbed. I'm finally able to kind of compose myself, but it still just doesn't feel real at all.
A medical examiner performed an autopsy Friday, but it could be weeks before we learn what caused his death inside Paisley Park. A public musical celebration of Prince's life is being planned.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
It's a good start this morning and a good start to your work week, too. I'm not seeing anything go on outside. I'm meteorologist Micah Harris. Thanks for joining us early this morning. Here's Defender Radar Network. Not much happening early this morning, and I just don't expect it later on this afternoon. There's only a very slight chance of rain in the forecast. It's about 20%. That's it. So for the most part, we stay dry today. Temperatures are in the 50s and 60s as you head out and about. 61 degrees now in Madison County. You go northbound into Harrison County, Cynthiana, and Berry. Looks pretty good. Down south, not seeing any issues whatsoever in Rockcastle nor Wayne County, or Lincoln County, that is. Wayne County at 57 degrees now in Monticello, and Jackson coming in at 60 degrees outside. That's a good feel. 80 degrees by the afternoon, slightly warmer than this weekend, and we look to have that mixture of sun and clouds all day long. Now, we will see a slight chance at a pop-up shower or a rumble of thunder. It's kind of your summertime setup, early summer where you have the 80s, and most of us stay dry, but you can't rule out one of those pop-up rain chances. That's going to be the case for today. We can slide off into your evening and nighttime hours, and it still looks pretty dry. In the morning tomorrow, just like a morning this morning, they're pretty much carbon copies of each other. So the start to the work week is nice, and the warm air stays with us the next several days. But what we're really watching, that Wednesday and Thursday time frame, Tuesday we'll still get a rain chance at about 40%. But Wednesday and Thursday look like the better opportunities to have rain on and off all day long. Not only that, but we will get some heavy rain out of that as well. Anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rain is expected. And also the possibility of some strong, potentially severe cells in the forecast. So that's definitely something to watch out for as we travel off into your next couple of days. Not a lot of rain for today. Like I said, Michelle, just a slight chance of rain, but other than that, it's a pretty good day in store. It's just that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, add that all up together. I'm going to show you some forecast models coming up and show you what they're expecting for some of these rain chances. But some show as high as 2+ inches of rain, all of that put together.
Yeah, earlier you mentioned a sloppy forecast ahead.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to hear that on Monday, Mike.
Right, nobody wants to hear it. But remember, It cleans out that air. It gives us the rain we need on the ground. So there are some positives to that.
The positive side, right?
That's right.
Thank you, Micah. Each morning we bring you weather and traffic together. Joining us now is Officer Don with a look at what's happening on the roads. Good morning.
Good morning. We're off to a good start on Versailles Road. We just checked things coming in from Woodford County, past the castle, past the airport. Traffic is steady. And on the north side of Lexington, just a stalled car inbound North Broadway. This one's at 3rd Street, a little closer to downtown. Let's get a look outside, and we'll show you what to expect as you plan to head out. That's a look at real-time traffic flow around Lexington. Not seeing any major issues just yet. The interstate looks good. Zoom in toward downtown. You see some construction going on, but it's light enough. We're getting past that, okay? Drive times from Nicholasville is about 12 minutes. Now it's click to 14. Georgetown's 14 minutes. Paris will take about 18. And from Winchester, we're looking at 25. We'll keep an eye on that throughout the morning and keep you up to date. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, Don, thank you very much. You took advantage of that good weather, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, my
Outdoor
5-year-old's birthday, and all her friends came. It was great, you know, because you get nervous. I'm having an outdoor party. I hope it doesn't rain all day. What will I do with 5-year-olds in my house? But it worked out. And you went running.
Yeah, I did. Good
yeah.
3-mile run out there. It was nice, I tell you what. Yeah.
Good for
Picked
you, Bill
up time
Bryant.
a little bit. All right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, time this morning is 6:10 on WKYT on your Monday. We have a lot more news on the way for you.
Anger in a Kentucky town as people there call for the mayor to step down. We'll tell you why they're so upset next on WKYT this morning.
Also ahead, after months of waiting, Beyonce finally delivered a new album for her fans, but not everybody can get it. We'll tell you why ahead this morning.
First Alert Weather is brought to you by Columbia Gas of Kentucky. Stay connected to the news that matters to you. Follow WKYT on Twitter.
Hey, Bill, you got a cough this winter? May I suggest Tough Love. Mentholyptisols with big-time cooling flavor. Or Soft Love. Milder flavored honey halls with real honey. Tough Love. Soft Love. Get the love you love.
Hey, y'all, I'm Denise. I'm Crystal. I'm Jamie. Enjoy our show. See more of our show and start enjoying yours at visitmo.com.
I have asthma, one of many pieces in my life. So when my asthma symptoms kept coming back on my long-term control medicine, I talked to my doctor and found a missing piece in my asthma treatment with Brio.
Once daily Brio prevents asthma symptoms. Brio's for adults with asthma not well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Brio won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Brio opens up airways to help improve breathing for a full 24 hours. Brio contains a type of medicine that increases the risk of death from asthma problems and may increase the risk of hospitalization in children and adolescents. Brio is not for people whose asthma is well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Once your asthma is well controlled, your doctor will decide if you can stop Brio and prescribe a different asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Do not take Brio more than prescribed. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse.
Ask your doctor if 24-hour Brio could be a missing piece for you. See if you're eligible for 12 months free at mybrio.com.
At Frankfort Toyota, we have new 2016 Camrys, up to $3,900 off MSRP or 0% financing for 60 months. New 2016 Corollas and RAV4s, up to $2,200 off MSRP or 0% financing for 60 months. And we'll double your no-cost maintenance to 4 years or 50,000 miles.
Frankfort Toyota, Google rated 4.9 out of 5 stars.
Frankfort Toyota, and online at frankforttoyota.com.
Mama, don't you just love it?
Best weekend all year!
I'm Ian.
I'm Christina.
Enjoy our show. See more of our show and start enjoying yours at visitmo.com.
WKYT's First Alert Weather follows you wherever you go, on TV, online, on your phone, and throughout the day on Rewind 105.5.
Welcome back to WKYT this morning. Your time is 6:14. People in one Kentucky town are calling for change.
A large group held a big rally in Bardstown saying that they want new leadership at City Hall. WKYT's Mark Barber is at our live desk this morning with more on why they want the mayor to be removed from office. Mark?
Good morning, Bill. Dozens of protesters are trying to remove Mayor John Royalty from the city council because they say he went behind the backs of community leaders to make controversial promotions and demotions within the police department. A frustrated crowd of people met outside the Nelson County Courthouse yesterday afternoon, passing around a petition to urge city leaders to hire legal counsel to investigate the mayor for misconduct. Royalty is under intense scrutiny for demoting 2 officers and promoting a detective who was once charged with murder in Louisville. The officer started working in Bardstown after he was found not guilty. Bardstown's police chief resigned last week after the mayor shook up the police department without running the changes by him.
Here is a chief of police of the year for 2015, and you're telling him that you can't consult with him to make those decisions? I think something's wrong.
Protesters want council members like Kesia Copeland there to take up the controversy and vote the mayor out of office. While Royalty is not explaining his reasons for restructuring the police department, he is saying he was within his legal rights to demote personnel. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, Mark, thank you very much, and we'll follow up and see what happens over there. President Obama is sending an additional 250 U.S. military personnel to Syria.
They'll be joining the 50 U.S. Special Operations Forces already in the war-torn country. Administration officials say they'll help local forces fight the Islamic State group. Obama is expected to announce his decision today in Germany. Actor George Clooney took part in an international ceremony recognizing humanitarian workers. Clooney presented the $1 million Roar Prize to a Burundi woman who offered sanctuary to thousands of orphans in the middle of a civil war. The award recognizes an individual's work to advance humanitarian causes. Armenian philanthropists selected her for the award.
Well, here we go. Our time is 6:17 on WKYT, and there's a new report out that shows they may be toxic for children. Approximately 30 children each day are still being exposed to the potential dangers of laundry detergent packets. This serious threat continues despite warnings and packaging changes, and now experts say more needs to be done. On average, there is a call to a poison control center every 45 minutes due to children getting into laundry detergent packages, and a child a day is hospitalized because of it.
Those concentrated chemicals can cause serious burns. If it gets down the lung, it can cause severe damage. It also, when it's absorbed, can cause effects on the brain.
Coming up at 6:30, you're going to hear from one mother who says her child ate one of the pods and about how that has changed their lives. Also this morning, sales of Prince's music have skyrocketed since the artist's death last week. According to Nielsen Music, in the 3 days following his death, there were 2.3 million Prince song sales, including nearly 1 million on Thursday alone. Sales were led by Purple Rain, followed by When Doves Cry, Little Red Corvette, and Let's Go Crazy. Album sales were led by the very best of Prince. Beyonce's new album is reportedly coming to iTunes. The New York Times says the album, titled Lemonade, will be available for purchase at midnight. That was the plan. However, it still was not there when we checked out this morning with things. The album was initially released only on music streaming service Tidal on Saturday. Tidal, of course, was relaunched by her husband, Jay-Z, but the release risked angering her fans who are not Tidal subscribers. So far, there's been no response from Beyonce or Apple as to the New York Times report. So we're going to see what happens on that. And The Jungle Book ruled the box office for a second straight weekend. Disney's fantasy flick has pulled in close to $61 million since Friday. That's according to estimates, at least. It's followed by The Huntsman, Winter's War, And that's expected to rake in more than $20 million, and that's generally seen as a flop for its opening weekend. The number 3 spot went to the comedy Barbershop, The Next Cut, close to $11 million for that. But again, Jungle Book in the lead, Michelle.
And Mike is calling for a sloppy forecast, so maybe it's a good week to go catch a movie. WKYT This Morning is just getting started. It's a wacky annual contest involving mullets, but this competition has nothing to do with hair. We'll explain after the break.
And trust me, I know all about that one. It's down toward my area, okay? Not that I have a mullet, I'm just saying it's down toward Alabama. We'll talk about that and also the showers and thunderstorms, the possibility of those. That's coming up next.
How happy are we that Mike and Molly's back? Cue the puppy.
Are you giving me kisses?
The final season of Mike and Molly returns CBS tonight.
Thursday, it's a night of shocking secrets.
When I was 5, I ingested a locomotive. I spent the next 3 days saying, I think I can pass it. I think I can pass it.
A new Big Bang. Then want to impress your dad?
The Mets locker room.
Try hitting the big leagues.
Got it right in the ball.
A new odd couple right after a new Big Bang Theory Thursday.
You're on sweet tea.
Yankee.
Introducing O'Charlie's Southern-inspired menu. 5 dishes straight from the South, like Nashville hot chicken. Classic American, Southern roots.
Nissan's family of crossovers with intuitive all-wheel drive. See driving in a more confident light. For a limited time, lease Rogue, just $189 per month, or get 0% financing for up to 36 months. Take on Mother Nature. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
When Dad died, Jim came home from college to help save the family business. Jim made a real difference. We grew Gray Construction from $1 million business to over $1 billion in sales a year. We built over 900 projects and helped create over 20,000 jobs in Kentucky. I'm Jim Gray, and I sponsored this ad because Washington could use Jim's business sense and some good Kentucky common sense to get things done.
Jim Gray, Kentucky first.
Hey, man. Who do you think Captain D was?
Captain D was actually regional semi-pro hockey captain Doug LaCour. Fueled by his voracious love of seafood, Doug would punch holes in the ice with his bare hands for a mid-practice snack.
Yes. Woo! You're full of it.
He sure is, Paul. Full of Captain D's Southern-style whitefish, topped with a special blend of Nashville hot seasonings for our Nashville hot fish. For full meals at just $4.99, it's gotta be D's.
Get ready for Kroger's Kentucky Derby Festival, April 28th through Derby Eve, and be a part of America's greatest community festival with 9 full days of local and national act concerts, the infamous Chow Wagon, various festival events, and more. Admission is free with a 2016 Pegasus pen, $5 at your neighborhood Kroger, and $7 at events.
Hurry into Kroger and save on pork. Get boneless chops, back ribs, or tenderloin for $2.99 a pound. And Kroger cheese is just $1.88 at Kroger.
It's intelligent enough to warn of danger from virtually anywhere. It's been smashed and driven. It's perceptive enough to detect other vehicles on the road. It's been shaken and pummeled. It's innovative enough to brake by itself, park itself, and help you steer. It's been in the rain and dragged through the mud. The 2016 GLE. It's where brains meet brawn. Lease the GLE 350 for $5.99 a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer.
You've got an hour for lunch. Make it count. O'Charlie's Free Pie Wednesday. A free slice with any entree. For a limited time, try our decadent chocolate raspberry pie.
I have insurance.
Every Wednesday at O'Charlie's.
Good morning. Welcome back into WKYT this morning. 6:23 as you get up and at it and after it here on this Monday. We hope you had a nice weekend.
Yes, we do. And Monday's always hard, but let's hope it gets off to a good start.
Make it a good one. Let's see what's trending at this hour here on WKYT News. A juvenile is facing charges after shots were fired overnight in Lexington. Police found several shell casings on Osage Court just after midnight this morning. A car later flagged down an officer saying someone had fired shots at them. They were not hit. Police did charge a juvenile with wanton endangerment.
There's still no word on what sparked a late-night fire that destroyed a home in Lexington. Everyone inside the home on Greenway Court and Masterson Station got out safely. A firefighter on the scene had to be treated for smoke inhalation. He is expected to be okay.
Authorities in southern Ohio are still searching for suspects following the murders of 8 family members last week. The state's attorney general is calling the slayings a sophisticated, pre-planned set of executions. We'll have more on what police are saying on possible motives in the case coming up at 6:30. We're all savoring the wonderful weekend we had around Kentucky, and it looks like it's going to be another good day today. Here's meteorologist Micah Harris.
Yeah, it's a good way to start off a work week, that is for sure. Defender Radar Network, nothing going on this morning. And honestly, by the afternoon, it's going to look just like this, except we can't rule out a couple of blips here and there. So it's only about a 20% chance of rain. No big issues whatsoever in the forecast today. It's in the 50s and 60s this morning. Like Michelle was talking about, this may be put the sunroof back, drop the windows, crank up the radio type of morning as you're taking off early out to work. 57 degrees right now in Boyle County. We hit the afternoon, we're at 80 degrees. It's a pretty decent feel. It's still pretty warm, but it's pretty decent feel. And we'll see a mixture of sun and clouds with that slight chance of rain. Guys, it's tomorrow off into your Wednesday and Thursday that we start to see that rain chance slide on in. Your better opportunities are Wednesday and Thursday, heavy rain and also some storms. I'm going to go over that forecast in just about 10 minutes.
Okay, Micah, thank you. It is 6:25 on your Monday morning.
Yes, it is. A British astronaut ran the London Marathon from hundreds of miles above the actual race.
This is really cool.
This is cool.
Yeah, Tim Peake ran on a treadmill inside the International Space Station just as the real marathon was going on below him in the British capital. Peake wrapped up his space marathon in about 3 hours and 35 minutes. Good time, and he seemed to enjoy it. That's very interesting. You know?
Yeah, nothing's going to keep him down, right?
You got it. Well, it is not unusual to see ducks on a river, but when they're rubber, well, then that can cause quite a scene.
More than 1,600 people lined up along a river in New York for the Adiron Duck Race. It costs just $5 to get your rubber duck competitor. The winning duck owner gets a grand prize of $2,000. There's a 1 in 8,000 chance of winning.
It all just has to be luck, right? I mean, how could you choose?
Well, yeah, you can't train your rubber duck, I guess.
You wouldn't think so.
No.
All right. It is a famous Alabama tradition. Micah says that,
I was hoping he had done
this
it.
is the way it goes down there. All right. The annual mullet toss was held over the weekend.
But it's not what you think. So you grab a fish, you face the crowd, and you launch it as far as possible over the Alabama-Florida state line. And just in case you're wondering, the fish are already dead before they're tossed.
Interesting.
I'm really disappointed Micah's never done this. Look at that guy.
He kind of spun out there, didn't he?
Goodness.
But I guess Florida doesn't throw him back. So.
Oh, there you go.
Good to have you with us on WKYT this morning at 6:27.
When WKYT This Morning returns, a warning for parents about a product you may have at home.
More small children are being poisoned by detergent packets, but the industry says it's now making the popular pods safer. I'm Marley Hall in New York. That story coming up.
Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot, $108 million, and Wednesday night's Powerball jackpot is $282 million. We'll be right back on WKYT.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. Follow WKYT on Twitter.
At Window World, you get the best price right up front.
Our windows feature the Good Housekeeping Seal
and come with a lifetime limited warranty.
Act now and get a house full of windows for as low as $79 a month installed.
Window World, simply the best for less.
I could get used to this.
I could get used to this.
The luxuriously transformed 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid.
I could get used to this.
Once you experience this level of luxury,
I could get used to this.
There's no going back. Lease the 2016 ES 350 for $339 a month for 36 months. See your Lexus dealer.
Are you planting a tree? Are you digging a swimming pool? Always call 811 before you dig. It's not just a good idea, it's the law. Columbia Gas of Kentucky.
Stepped off a walkboard by accident, landed on my wrist, and shattered it. This was an on-the-job accident. It's really hard to talk about because it was one of those things that ended my career. Becker Law Office needed to make sure My financial security was taken care of, and that's what they did. That's exactly what they did.
Call the Becker Law Office. Just dial 3s.
Once through, we'll stop Donald Trump.
See, Ted Cruz too?
Y señor, my pape.
Who?
My pape.
Tape?
Pape, my pape. The conservative running for Congress who helped Trump build the wall.
Will this Mike Pape help Ted Cruz repeal Obamacare?
See?
We must stop Mike Pape.
Vámonos!
I'm Mike Pape, and I approve this message because no one will stop me from standing up for you.
Garages have many uses. So use yours in the best way possible with amazing deals on terrific Honda products, like the all-new, more powerful Honda Civic with improved ride and handling, plus a roomier interior. Winner gets to drive.
The Honda Dream Garage sales event is happening now. And you've got a garage to fill.
The Honda Dream Garage sales event is almost over, so don't miss out. Now at your Honda dealer.
Treat your family tonight to Fazoli's Baked Spaghetti. For a limited time, this Fazoli's favorite is only $4.99. Spaghetti with marinara sauce topped with our special blend of cheeses and baked to perfection. Hurry in before the $4.99 baked spaghetti is gone.
Fazoli's. WKYT's First Alert Weather follows you wherever you go, on TV, online, on your phone, and throughout the day on News Radio WLAP. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you. Kentucky Morning start right here on WKYT. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Michelle Chamberlain. It is Monday, April 25th.
And it's 6:31 right now. Changes will be made. That's the word from Governor Matt Bevin. An update on where he stands with signing the state budget.
New details on an investigation into the murders of 8 family members in 4 different homes in Ohio.
And a woman describes how neighbors jumped into action after seeing a man's home on fire with the man still inside.
Not a bad feel walking out the door early this morning. We travel off into the afternoon. We'll be roughly 80 degrees later on today. Mainly dry conditions, cannot rule out a slight chance of rain. I'm going to go over that forecast and show you what you can expect later on this work week coming up.
And let's get right to the news this morning.
Time is running out for Governor Matt Bevin to approve a budget passed by both chambers of the Kentucky legislature.
In the last hours that they were in session, it appears there will be changes made before he signs it. WKYT's Mark Barber is on our live desk with more on the governor's deadline this week. Mark?
Good morning, Bill. The governor has to veto lines from the budget or sign it this week. Governor Matt Bevin says he is pleased with the bill, but he indicates that he will strike some lines from the budget. The House and the Senate struggled through stalemates and deadlocks to approve the state budget 2 weeks ago. Through sweeping cuts to numerous state agencies, their compromise on the 2-year spending plan would put $1 billion back toward Kentucky's overwhelming pension debt. Since lawmakers waited until the last day of the legislative session to strike a budget deal, they do not have any power to block any vetoes from Bevin. He is still carefully considering what executive action he will take this week.
I'm not done with it yet, and as you noted, I am going through it line by line, and that's my responsibility, and that is what is expected of me in my position. At the same time, I am truly grateful that our legislators did what they were sent to do, and I applaud them for that.
While the budget still has not been given final approval, Bevin says it is already much more conservative and fiscally responsible than anyone thought was possible. From the live desk, Mark Barber, WKYT.
All right, Mark, thank you. And that's an extensive interview with Governor Bevin, by the way, that we'll have on our YouTube channel a little bit later on this morning from Kentucky Newsmakers. Well, this morning we're hearing from neighbors who rushed in to help a man who was trapped inside his home by fire.
Fire crews responded to a home on Sycamore to find the home engulfed by flames. The man inside had to jump to safety. WKYT's Mike Byer is live in Richmond with more on what it took to get to that man. Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle. We're told that several neighbors played the role of hero in this house fire. Firefighters tell us the man was taking a nap when the fire started yesterday afternoon here on Sycamore Drive. The man's wife was at the store when it happened. This is when several neighbors acted quickly and came to the man's rescue. We're told they weren't able to get to the door because the fire had spread, so they yelled through a window and woke the man up. The man then jumped through the window to safety, bringing one of his dogs with him. However, we're told the couple's 2 other dogs were still inside and unfortunately were unable to make it out. Now, firefighters say the home is a total loss. They were only able to save the garage and everything inside it. Both firefighters and the man's neighbors say he is extremely lucky to have made it out.
Oh, that was pretty scary. It was the whole front of his house, and the door being the only way in, already being knowing you couldn't get to him. It's a different kind of feeling.
Now, firefighters are still trying to determine what caused this fire, a fire which you can see has left very little of this home. Live in Richmond, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Mike, thank you very much. Lexington police are still looking for information about a hit-and-run crash that left a man dead. 52-year-old Roger Morrison was found on the side of New Circle Road near Industry Road early Friday morning. We were reporting live about that on that newscast that morning. Police used surveillance video from nearby businesses and determined that Morrison was walking in the roadway on the outer loop when he was hit by a dark 4-door car. A second car swerved to avoid hitting Morrison. Police are checking surveillance from other businesses now to see if they can gather any more clues. 3 people charged in the 2014 murder of a Lexington Marine are due in court this morning. A hearing is set for 10 a.m. for Quincenio Canada and Dewan Mulazem. Police say the pair shot a couple in the parking lot outside Austin City Saloon during a robbery attempt back in 2014. Jonathan Price, who was a Marine, died. His wife, Megan, survived the shooting. Mulazem's wife, Shalanda, is charged with evidence tampering in connection to that case as well. She is also due in court this morning.
Some good news to pass along this morning. A Jessamine County baby is on the road to recovery weeks after police say her babysitter abused her. Nicholasville police have charged Erin Thompson with criminal abuse, and while her case plays out in the courtroom, the community is finding ways to help little Kylie Joe's family with medical expenses. Last night in Nicholasville, dozens enjoyed the nice weather with a motorcycle ride and some good food. Among those bikers were the Sizemores.
It's amazing, really. You don't understand until something like this happens, but you know, we've got a lot of support and a lot of people praying for our little girl, and it's overwhelming.
Kylie Joe's father says her future is looking really good. He says they've got a long road to full recovery, but Kylie Joe keeps fighting. The case against babysitter Erin Thompson is now with a grand jury.
The time now 6:37 on WKYT this morning. Ohio's Attorney General is calling the murders of 8 family members in Pike County there in the Buckeye State a pre-planned execution. Mike DeWine says more than 100 investigators are now helping with that case. 7 adults and a teenage boy were found dead Friday at 4 different homes near Piketon. At this point, police do not know how many shooters that they're looking for. Police say they are finished with investigating the crime scenes, but the homes will remain closed.
18 pieces of evidence are now at the State Crime Lab at BCI. Those are being looked at by our DNA people, as well as looked at for other purposes.
Police are saying that drugs could be a possible motive. They found marijuana growing operations in some of the victims' homes. The Pike County Sheriff has warned the victims' relatives to arm themselves because they are being targeted. Well, doctors are once again warning parents about those popular detergent packages, the packets that you can get in the stores.
It is scary. As Marley Hall reports, a new study shows an increase in the number of children getting hurt after biting into the colorful packets.
Detergent packets can be a convenient way to do the laundry, but to a toddler, they can look like candy.
Dad, please.
2 years ago, Angela Avent told us her daughter Renaya had to go on life support when she ate a packet as a toddler.
She was just foaming at the mouth, couldn't breathe, couldn't move. She was just laying there.
A new study in the journal Pediatrics says there were more than 62,000 detergent-related calls to poison control centers in 2013 and 2014. There was a 17% rise in calls specifically about laundry packets. Among those, there were 17 cases of coma, 6 cases of respiratory arrest, and 2 cases of cardiac arrest.
And we want to let parents know this is something they want to take caution with. Put it up in the cabinet. Put it behind a locked, a cabinet lock.
Last year, Consumer Reports stopped recommending laundry packets because of the potential danger, but the industry says it's adopting new voluntary safety changes. Procter & Gamble, the maker of Tide Pods and Gain Flings, introduced new pods this year that are stronger. They also have a bitter-tasting substance on the outer film to stop kids from biting into them.
We are introducing a new bag with a child guard zipper.
The new packages hit store shelves next month. Safety advocates plan to monitor the changes to make sure they prevent poisonings. Marley Hall, CBS News, New York.
Now, Procter & Gamble says during testing, 90% of kids under 5 were not able to open the new Child Guard packages. It's a scary situation.
Scary for parents,
Yeah.
certainly, out there. And everybody, be cautious with
Yeah,
those,
you just
right?
need to put them up high so the kids can't get to them.
There you go. All right, 6:40 the time, 20 before 7 on WKYT.
Let's check to see how traffic's moving along this morning.
Here's Officer Don with our check on live drive traffic. Good morning, Don.
Hey, good morning, gang. That problem we had at North Broadway and 3rd Street's been cleared, so the stalled car's now out of the way. Both lanes are open. Not a problem getting through there. Let's get a look at overall traffic flow this morning and show you what's happening around Lexington. No major issues to deal with on Nicholasville Road. Coming in from Brannon Crossing toward Man o' War, it's a straight shot for now, and no major problems on Richmond Road either. Of course, we can see a little bit of a slowdown at Richmond in the Circle, and that's about all we're dealing with there. As far as our drive times are concerned, coming in from Nicholasville, up to about 14 minutes, which is normal for this time of the morning. Coming on the north side from Paris, it looks like about 19 minutes. Winchester, we're dealing with 25, so average speeds from Richmond looking at about 32 minutes total. So we'll keep an eye on that and keep you up to date. Now back to you.
Okay, Don, thank you. Remember, you can get the latest traffic and weather information anytime with the WKYT Weather Plus Traffic app. Download that for free in the app or Google Play stores. And it's great to have you with us Monday morning. Hope you had a good weekend. This new week off and rolling, and more news is on the way.
Yes, we do. The stakes were high in an unusual police chase, but police were able to get to the meat of the incident. That juicy story out of Texas coming up after Micah's forecast. What a tease, Micah.
I was going to say that. Pretty well written. I like that tease. That wasn't all that bad. Possible showers and thunderstorms as we head toward the next few days. Today's mainly dry. You want to knock out your outdoor plans today. Reason being, that rain moves on in. I'm going to show you that forecast and when it does move in coming up.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on Rewind 105.5.
Hi, Shane Huffman with Neil Huffman Honda in Frankfort, where today you can lease a brand new 2016 Honda CR-V for just $259 a month. Plus, we're going to back all our deals with our 110% price protection guarantee. That's Neil Huffman Honda in Frankfort. Huffman has it.
Step right up for something fun. For just $1, the excitement's begun. The game's called Keno, and you can play it in an alley. Or you can play it with your best friend, Sally. You can play it here or there. You could play it almost anywhere. Play with many numbers or just a few. How you play is all up to you. You can put down a little or put down a lot. So what do you say? Give Keno a shot. Just pick your numbers and hope you win, and a few minutes later, you can play it again. Now you can play Keno wherever Kentucky Lottery games are sold, fueling imagination, funding education.
Shouldn't you have a checking account that makes your life easier? Introducing Easy Checking from Republic Bank. Relax with no minimum balance or monthly maintenance fee. Easily send money through our app with mobile pop money. Remembering your password is as easy as scanning your fingerprint or eye using iPrint ID. And for easy access to your money, you can use 85,000 surcharge-free ATMs worldwide. Easy checking for your hard-earned money. We're Republic Bank, and it's just easier here.
People really do live life in their Toyotas. Live well in the bold Toyota Camry. Now with just announced $500 bonus cash. Use it to get 0 for 60 plus $500. Get $2,000 cash back. Or lease Camry for $179 a month with $16.99 due at signing. Don't miss out. Now through May 2nd. Toyota, let's go places.
Eyeglass World salutes Angie,
who just finagled a first-class ticket for the price of Coach. She also gets amazing deals at Eyeglass World. Like right now at our Christian Siriano sale. This month only, get 2 pairs of Christian Siriano designer glasses for $99.95. But hurry, this incredible deal is only good through April 30th. The Christian Siriano sale, only at Eyeglass World. See yourself smile, see yourself save.
Hi, Shane Huffman with Neil Huffman Honda in Frankfort, where today you can lease a brand new 2016 Honda CR-V for just $259 a month. Plus, we're going to back all our deals with our 110% price protection guarantee. That's Neil Huffman Honda in Frankfort. Huffman has it.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Nice start to the morning. We're really not seeing much go on. If you're heading out and about here in the next couple of minutes, all looks well and it feels really good too. It's one of those mornings you drop the convertible top, drop the windows, turn up the radio and take off. It's actually a pretty nice start to the morning, a nice feel outside. We're at 59 degrees there in Lexington, 63 right now in Madison County. And then you go off into, say, Garrett County. Things look just fine. Work your way back toward the Mountain Parkway, Powell, and also heading down the Mountain Parkway. You're going into Wolfe County. Things look good. McGoffin County, good morning to you guys there in Sayersville. Temperatures right around 60 degrees early this morning. Moorhead, Lakeview Heights, Clearfield, all those locations there in Rowan County sitting right around the mid-50s. So it's a nice start to the morning. Already very, very pleasant there at noontime at 73 degrees. It's going to be a little warm this afternoon, right around 80, but that's all right. Teachers, keep in mind you want to get the kids out today, out on the playgrounds and whatnot, because tomorrow, off into Wednesday and Thursday, especially Wednesday and Thursday, it might be hard to do in some spots with those spotty showers and thunderstorms. So this is your best day to actually do that. Also, yard work today. Yard work, you can get it done. If you weren't able to do it this past weekend, today's probably the day to do it. You got a few rumbles of thunder tomorrow, and then Wednesday and Thursday is when you actually see a lot of that rain slide on in with the system coming in from the west. And this isn't a huge threat at severe weather. It's a marginal chance, a small risk of that. That's what I'm seeing as of right now. But for the most part, it's just going to be your run-of-the-mill thunderstorm sliding on in here, a few strong cells, but the heavy rain threat is going to be our best bet. Tuesday through Thursday, okay, but Wednesday and Thursday are going to be your heavy days that you actually get that. Tomorrow is more of a 40% chance of rain. Wednesday and Thursday, more like your 60 to 80% chance of rain. Let's talk about how much rain we're expecting, because we talked about that heavy rain threat. Watch this. Here's the rainfall potential heading through your Friday morning. You'll take it off into Thursday night into Friday morning. Most of us right around an inch, but we cannot rule out a few spots, roughly 2 inches of rain when it's all said and done. So I'd say anywhere from 1 to 2 inches is your best bet. There anywhere from Tuesday off into your Thursday. So that's a pretty wet period as we slide toward midweek. Good news is it moves out on Friday and Saturday. Only slight chances of rain on both of those days. Temperatures stay relatively mild. I mean, we're talking mid to upper 70s, and that's because of the rain chance that's moving on in. So guys, once again, just to recap, you want to knock out the yard work. You want to do any outdoor plans, outdoor activities. If you're wanting to take the kids out somewhere here or there, maybe to the Arboretum here in Lexington, it's a fun place to go. Anything like that, you want to do it today. That's your best bet to stay dry. Tomorrow, it's not a washout by any means, but you still have a 40% chance. See a couple of rumbles of thunder toward the afternoon, but Wednesday and Thursday look pretty soggy as systems roll on through. So I mean, it's not a bad forecast in terms of severe weather. It's not all over the map. It's nothing like that, but it's beneficial rain to the yard, so we'll take it.
And the temps stay high. That's good.
Yes, that is good. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
It can't be like it was over the weekend all the time.
Wasn't it nice?
Oh, fabulous.
Extremely nice. Yeah,
Hope everybody get a chance to enjoy some of that.
Yes.
Time this morning, 6:48, and police out in Texas arrested a man after a high-speed chase involving steaks.
Yes, police say the chase began after the men fled a Walmart in Longville, Texas. They say the man sped across 2 counties, sometimes reaching 100 miles per hour. Now, during the chase, the suspect was throwing something out of his car. Police say they later realized the man was tossing meat.
It appears that there's steaks and meats of some sort coming out the windows. Throughout the chase, you can actually hear one of them bounce off the front of my patrol car. That's not something that you normally hear of, people stealing and, especially running from the police in that process. So it was definitely a new one for me.
He must have been a vegetarian, huh? Police say the man surrendered without a fight.
All right. Well, I guess they'll have to be on Porterhouse Patrol from now on. You never know, right?
That was a good one.
6:49, 11 before 7 on WKYT this morning.
More news when we come back.
Coming up, Ted Cruz and John Kasich team up to stop Donald Trump ahead of tomorrow's primary. Plus, Starbucks takes on our nation's hunger problem. How the coffee chain will feed those in need. More real news coming up on CBS This Morning, next.
Want the best selection of appliances?
Greg's got it!
Big savings on big brands. Samsung, LG, Whirlpool, and more. All with our 30-day low price guarantee and free delivery. H.H. Gregg.
Greg's got it!
It looks perfect.
Howdy, partner.
I want to be a fireman when I grow up.
Life has a way of changing your plans, and when that happens, you can use the Close 5 app to sell unwanted stuff. Get the Close 5 app for iPhone or Android now. Download for free, buy and sell for free.
At Central Bank, we like to call ourselves your friendly neighborhood financial experts because we get to help an entire community of customers achieve their financial dreams. So whether you're opening a checking account or buying your first home, you've got a team of local experts to coach you all the way.
Wow.
See what 70 years of experience can do for your financial future with Central Bank.
How many times are you going to drive off with those things?
Official bank of UK Athletics.
There's no one road out there, no one surface, no one way of driving on each and every road. But there is one car that can conquer them all. The Mercedes-Benz C-Class. 5 driving modes let you customize the steering, shift points, and suspension to fit the mood you're in and the road you're on. The 2016 C-Class. Lease the C300 for $379 a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Sleep is a critical component of our athletic training at UK.
Our sleep experts are the champions at matching our customers to the best bed for them.
This week at Sleep Outfitters, get a free TV with qualifying purchase, like this Sealy Pillow Top Queen Set with gel foam, now only $4.99, plus a free TV. Go to sleepoutfitters.com for store locations and hours.
Sleep Outfitters, official sleep provider of UK Athletics. Sleep like a champion, play like a champion.
At Shelter Insurance, we've found that peace of mind offers some real advantages. That's why we work hard to make things easier for you. By sheltering your cars. By sheltering your home. By sheltering your toys. By sheltering your life. Peace of mind. Isn't that the best shelter there is? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
It looks perfect.
Howdy, partner.
I want to be a fireman when I grow up.
Life has a way of changing your plans, and when that happens, you can use the Close 5 app to sell unwanted stuff. Get the Close 5 app for iPhone or Android now. Download for free, buy and sell for free.
The time this morning is 6:52 on WKYT, and they're ready to go there at CBS This Morning. Coming up shortly, of course, America's fastest growing morning newscast.
Now, they'll have the latest on the death of Prince. Multiple tributes are done over the weekend honoring the music icon.
And, of course, also the latest from the campaign trail, as there's now been a big shakeup there. So all this is coming up at 7 on WKYT.
This week, we will finally learn what the budget for the next 2 years will look like.
Governor Matt Bevin says he is pleased with the bill, but he indicates he will be striking some lines from the state budget with his veto pen. The House and Senate struggled through stalemates and deadlocks to approve the state budget 2 weeks ago. Since lawmakers waited until the last day of the legislative session to get a budget deal together, they have no power now to block any vetoes from Governor Bevin. Lexington firefighters are trying to figure out the cause of a late-night fire that destroyed a Lexington home. More details now. The fire started at a home on Greenway Court in Masterson Station. Everyone inside did manage to get out safely. Police say the people who lived there had to find another place to stay overnight. One firefighter did go to the hospital for smoke inhalation, but he is expected to be okay.
And firefighters in Madison County say a man jumped from a second-story window to escape the flames tearing through his home. They say a home on Sycamore in Richmond caught fire yesterday afternoon. Firefighters say they were only able to save the garage and everything inside. A neighbor said he saw the flames and banged on the man's door to get him out. New on WKYT, officers are trying to figure out what led to several shots being fired in a Lexington neighborhood. This was at the scene in Osage Court. Police were called there shortly after midnight for a report of shots fired. They found about 5 shell casings on the scene. An officer across town was then flagged down by a car that police believe left the scene on Osage Court. Police ended up charging a juvenile with 1 endangerment. They do not believe anyone was hurt by the gunfire. The 2016 presidential contenders make a final push in 5 Northeast states holding critical primaries tomorrow. With GOP frontrunner Donald Trump poised to rack up even more delegates, Ted Cruz and John Kasich have announced plans to team up to stop him from clinching the nomination. Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton is eyeing victories in 4 of the 5 states at play, which would all but cripple Bernie Sanders' bid for the nomination.
Our time this morning is 6:54, and on WKYT.com we'll keep you right up to the minute all day long wherever you are. Divers from Louisiana will be returning to Laurel Lake tomorrow looking for the body of Clarence Holmes, who disappeared on the lake during a storm nearly 4 years ago. That dive team has been there before, but they hope this time they'll find his body thanks to some new information they have on a sonar image. It was a weekend for big stars here in the Bluegrass. James Taylor played his classic and smooth hits to a crowd at Lexington's Rupp Arena last night. It was the first time the arena used walk-through metal detectors. We have a story up about that and how they plan to increase their use during the Pearl Jam concert that is coming up this week. So we have details on that. And over in Richmond, Jay Leno entertained a crowd and also gave $10,000 to the college fund of the young son of the late Officer Daniel Ellis, who was killed in the line of duty last November. Now, you'll find our newscast, lots of our interviews available on demand on WKYT's YouTube channel. And later this morning, we'll put up this weekend's edition of Kentucky Newsmakers. Governor Matt Bevin was the main guest. He talked about his plan to veto part of the state budget and lots of other issues. So you can check that out on your own time. On Kentucky.com, there is sadness in Harlan County and among lawyers around the state who are remembering District Judge Jeff Brock, who died over the weekend after a long battle with cancer. He'd been very active with the Mountain Laurel Association as well, serving as its president. Brock was 55 years old. And CBS This Morning is coming up shortly with your eye opener and the latest from around the world. Plus, we'll have local updates as well. Join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter or Instagram, and for the latest anytime, WKYT.com.
How great is this shot? This is out back looking over the WKYT studios here in Lexington, looking back east. Really nice looking shot. I've been sending pictures here on Twitter, so if you have any pictures of a nice sunrise around your neck of the woods, jump on Twitter, send them to me. I'll show them off as we head toward 10 a.m. and also noontime. But a great looking start, a great feeling start. It actually feels pretty good outside, 50s and 60s. And as you slide throughout your day, we'll be right around 80 degrees later on this afternoon. Guys, it's mainly dry. The key word there is mainly, because we just can't rule out a pop-up shower or thunderstorm, but most of us stay dry as we slide off through the afternoon.
All right, picture perfect weekend, and then here we go with some changes. All right.
Good morning to open that sunroof.
That's true. Nobody's more up to date than you. Thank you for being with us on WKYT.